At first, a little mystery can seem harmless, maybe even endearing. But today on Our Space, when your partner's actions don't match their words, and your suspicion turns out to be more than just insecurity, sometimes the only way forward is through the exit door. Am I wrong for accusing my girlfriend of cheating on me? Found a pregnancy test. So, my girlfriend and I have been together for just under a year. We don't live together and both work full-time, and we are exclusive as far as I'm aware. About 3 months ago, I noticed my girlfriend spending a lot of time on the phone with her friend, Jessie. She says that Jessie is a good friend, and that's it. However, she often spends any time she can on the phone with him, even when her and I are out. Their conversations don't lead me to think anything, but about 1.5 months ago, my girlfriend says she's going to visit Jessie, who lives 2 states over. I can't go because I have to work. Of course, I tell her that I'm not comfortable with her visiting a male friend out of state, but she says that Jessie is just a friend. She will be staying at his place, but Jessie is also a single father of 2 young boys, so my girlfriend assures me nothing will happen. Despite me voicing my opinion, my girlfriend takes the trip and shares her location to put my mind at ease. She returns a week later, and we move on with life. However, about 2 weeks ago, my girlfriend asked me to go to our local Target to pick up an online order she placed. She tells me she ordered shampoo and a few hygiene items. I agree and go to pick up her order. When I get to the customer service counter and give them her name, they bring out a bag with a pregnancy test in it. Shocked and confused, I tell them that this isn't what she ordered. I check the name and phone number attached to the bag and find it matches my girlfriend's number, so it couldn't have been another girl with the same name. They bring out the bag with the items she told me to get, and I leave without asking more questions about the pregnancy test. Shocked and confused by this because there was no real way that I could have potentially impregnated her. We used protection. I later asked her why there was a pregnancy test at Target in her name. At first, she says she has no idea and she did not order a pregnancy test. I asked her to show me the Target app to prove it, and she says that it was probably her sister since her sister uses her Target account to order things sometimes. She also claims that women sometimes use pregnancy tests to regulate their PMS, or for other things other than to determine if they're pregnant. I don't know crap about how this works, but she assures me that she's not pregnant, and that test wasn't a sign of her cheating when she was on a trip. The other night, we go out to dinner and she makes it a point to prove that she isn't pregnant by ordering a few cocktails. Am I wrong for accusing my girlfriend of cheating on me while she was away? I'm so paranoid, but I also don't have real proof that she did. Edit. Needed to clarify the part about the pregnancy test. The pregnancy test was part of a separate online order. She asked me to pick up her online order at Target, which she said consisted of shampoo, deodorant, and some lotion. When I went to the counter and told them her name, they brought out the bag with the pregnancy test. I said this isn't what she told me was her order, so they checked again and brought out the second bag with the right stuff as previously mentioned. After checking the info on both bags, I confirmed that both orders were under her name and account, so I believe she secretly placed an online order for a pregnancy test and planned to get that later while asking me to get her shampoo. The pregnancy test was not in the same bag as the stuff she asked me to get. Update. I never saw the pregnancy test after that, so I don't know if that truly was an order she made by mistake or if her sister used her Target account to order that got herself. However, I did bring up the fact that her sister lives about 20 minutes from her and has a Target much closer to her, so why would she place an order for a pregnancy test and have the pickup location further from her house? Even if her local Target was all out, I find it hard to believe that her sister would order a pregnancy test under her account and pick it up near her house. Let's see what the community thinks. First up, sure, the pregnancy test could have been placed in her order by error, but then she'd have just shown you the app to prove she didn't order it and wouldn't have blamed her sister. She also wouldn't have lied about women using pregnancy tests to regulate PMS. This is absolutely not the truth, and you should be insulted by this lie. The only thing pregnancy tests are used for is to determine if women are pregnant. That's it. She has changed the story like 5 times, and you want to believe her so much that you are starting to believe her. Her having cocktails proves nothing except that the pregnancy test was negative. She went to stay with Jessie despite your reservations about it, lied about the pregnancy test, and is making you think you are paranoid for thinking she cheated, without protection, probably. Next person says, women use birth control to regulate periods, not pregnancy tests. Next person says, the pregnancy test isn't a sign of her cheating, but her reasoning is pregnancy tests don't regulate anything. Her changing stories and excuses are all you need to hear to know she is hiding something from you. The biggest concern is how she's handled all of this. A lot of changing stories, and it sounds like she's trying to downplay your feelings and gaslight you into thinking you're overreacting. That's not a good sign in any relationship. You're not wrong for feeling paranoid, especially since I've never heard of a pregnancy test being used that way before. Update. 1 day later. Thank you for all those that commented on my post yesterday concerning my girlfriend and my belief that she cheated on me. So, as an update, I realize that although my girlfriend and I have protected sex, the chances of me getting her pregnant isn't possible. However, I strongly believe that despite our intimacy, I couldn't have possibly impregnated my girlfriend. Not to be disgusting and personal, but I never finish inside of her because I want to reduce our chances of having kids until we're both ready. That's why when I saw the pregnancy test, I immediately thought she cheated on me.
Anyways, I went into panic last night after hearing all the comments and freaked out, so I went to her apartment while she was at work. She gave me a key, and I found her iPad. I tried using her birthday as the password, and to my amazement, it worked. I immediately go through her messages and find evidence that she in fact had sex with her friend Jessie. I'm honestly so devastated by this, and I've been such a nervous wreck since last night. I haven't eaten and I've barely slept. Yes, I know what I did. Secretly going through her iPad and messages was wrong, but I had to know if she was cheating on me and if that pregnancy test she was secretly ordered was because Jessie may have knocked her up. Now I'm waiting to confront her, but I honestly don't know how. How do I tell my girlfriend that I know she cheated? Am I wrong for going through her iPad and messages? Part of me feels wrong for this, but you have no idea how much it hurts to know she did this. She was my first real girlfriend in a long time, and now I feel like an afterthought. Edit. As far as I know, she is not pregnant. She wanted to prove this by having a few cocktails when we went to dinner last week. There's no baby involved, thank God. Let's pause here for one quick comment. Not wrong. The pregnancy test and her preposterous answers to your questions about it caused enough concern to do some digging. Just say to her, I know, leave, and block. Update. 3 days later. TLDR version. Girlfriend took trip to see male friend, but I later found out that she secretly got a pregnancy test. Later found out through text messages that she had sex with him while on the trip. So last night, I told my girlfriend that I needed to talk to her. At first she kept saying she was busy, but I insisted on seeing her in person, so she finally said to go to her place around 8 p.m. I go over, and I reiterated how ever since she got back from her trip, things have felt weird. She claims I'm the one who's making things weird by believing that she cheated on me. She continues to claim that the pregnancy test was not hers, and that her friend Jessie was just a friend, and they just hung out. I then proceed to tell her how I know she cheated because I saw the thread in her messages. You came here without me knowing and went through my personal messages? That's so messed up and creepy, to be honest, she says. We get into a slight argument as I told her that my suspicions were correct and she was trying to deflect the conversation. I asked her to give me her phone and I'll show her all the messages I saw, which were very clear and explicit. Of course she refuses and says, we are not married, we don't live together, you don't own or control me. While I agreed with her on that part, I decided to end things quickly and simply put her copy of her keys on her coffee table and tell her, you cheated. Plain and simple. Goodbye and good luck. I walk out and she makes no attempts to stop me. Later, she tries to text me and says that she's sorry for what she did. At first, she claimed that Jessie was an old boyfriend that she never told me about and that they dated years ago before she met me and that he moved away several years ago. She claims that the messages I saw were old conversations they had, but I quickly told her that was obviously not true. She swears that she didn't mean to cheat and that Jessie must have gotten her drunk and it led to sex. She assures me that she is not pregnant with anyone's baby. I told her that's good because I don't want anything else tying me to you. I wish her good luck again and I haven't heard from her since. Personally, I'm relieved, but I'm so upset and devastated by all this. I spoke with my friend Eric, who told me that he had an ex that cheated on him too, but she later tried to contact him years later when the dude she cheated on him with turned out to be a bum. Hoping I can move forward from this. Thank you all for your input. Am I wrong for anything I did or the way I acted in this? Ask an opinion, you'll get a quick comment. Quick and clean. Good job. No need to hash it all out or look for an apology. Just end it because she cheated. Done. Her trying to minimize what happened shows a lack of remorse and respect for you. You're better off moving on. Cut ties. She made her choice. Your friend Eric's experience is a good reminder that time will help. And who knows? You never know what the future holds and who might pop into your life. But you're not wrong for anything you did or the way you acted, OP. You did what you had to do to protect yourself. Do you believe keeping secrets in a relationship can ever be justified? Or does it always lead to problems down the line? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Moving on to the next story. Wife deleting messages. Recently, my wife has become very guarded of her phone and distant with me. We don't see each other very much, and when we do, the intimacy just isn't there from her. It led me to believe that something was going on between her and a coworker, which this is not the first time something like this has happened. 2 years ago, basically found messages to a different coworker in a very flirtatious manner. She went as far as to say that she was having wet dreams about the person in the messages. Fast forward to now, this specific coworker started out asking her about swinging. At this point, I already knew that he was one to watch out for. She asked me if I wanted to swing as results of their conversations. We have become very close over the last few months, and I saw a message from him that simply said, "Where you at?" I didn't think anything of it, but then I wanted to know the nature of their conversations, so I went to look at the "Where you at" message. Had been deleted. There's also a song about temptation that she has implied makes her think about him. I asked if there was anything going on, and she said no, they have just bonded, and he said she has become like a best friend to him, so they have been bonding while our marriage has been failing. She says she deleted the messages because she confides in him about me and didn't want me seeing them, but I feel there is more. Update. We had a talk yesterday because I clearly have not been myself the last 2 days, and she said, "I want to work on it, but I can see that you don't." To which I replied, "Nope, and told her the trust was gone and that we should develop a plan for co-parenting. Next day, the rage came. I went to go see the affair partner at their workplace, but decided to call HR instead. If they were willing to ruin our relationship, why not ruin their careers? My wife was in a panic at this point, and she said, "Don't do this, please, don't." And I said, "You should have thought about all this before you effed him." At this point, she was in full tears, but sprung a look of confusion she could not fake, and told me that yes, a line was crossed and inappropriate conversations were had, but nothing physical happened. If she lied about it, she needs to quit what she is doing and become an actress. I know there are going to be a lot of people referring to me to narcissist posts and whatnot, but we are going to work on it. Hopefully you don't hear from me again on this thread. I know you guys keep receipts. Update. Reddit wins again. After going back and forth for the days analyzing the web of lies like Carnegie from Homeland, I said no more. Why keep questioning her on each lie when it is clear that she will just create more lies? After days of trying to convince myself that Reddit was wrong and we would be the exception to the rule, I realized that I was just a fool in denial. The web of lies grows too thick for her to get through all of them, and I got tired of asking. I did not sign up for this to be a detective. I came to her and said I wanted to follow through with the divorce, and from this point on, I consider us both single, so F whoever you want. That was the most liberating moment I have felt in a long time. A huge weight lifted. I finally stopped caring about it, and for the first time in a long time, felt something within myself. Peace. She's gone back and forth between acting devastated and very casual about the situation. She now claims I'm the only one she can see herself with, but I've heard too many lies to believe anything at this point. You've been in denial for a while, hoping things would get better, but sometimes the hardest thing is accepting when something just isn't working. Her reactions are just a mix of guilt, confusion, and the reality of losing you. But it's not your job to fix her or to keep questioning every little thing. Time to move on and move up. Anyone else ever reach that point in a relationship where you realize it's just time to walk away? How'd you know it was over?